Welcome.
Welcome,
Welcome.
welcome to episode 2 of the Purpose Driven Podcast. Today,
Yep.
we're going to talk about emotional regulation, emotional control.
Let's go.
So, let's
Oh,
start it
yeah.
off by you, Logan. So, question that I wanted to ask you was, can pursuing a purpose lead to greater emotional fulfillment and stability in the long term?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I don't like to say the word think, but I know so because I see a lot of people they're not able to control their emotions. They're usually in positions where they're not satisfied. Like people who are working like the 9 to 5 or not by no means is being something purposeful have to be working like a multi-millionaire CEO, but like people who work a 9 to 5 who are like, I don't like this job, I don't like this career, I don't like this decision. Those people tend to have a less emotional stability. They tend to go drink the alcohol or do this or yell at people just because they're upset with their where they're at.
Yeah, and I can relate to that. It's because when I was in university, I didn't have that sense of purpose. So I try to fulfill that emotional gap by, engaging
Yeah,
in activities.
yeah,
And I was just trying to fill a gap. Like I didn't know it was
yeah,
emotional at the time. I thought it was just some like loophole that I was feeling. I was like, why am I not satisfied? Like, why am I feeling like I need to engage in these activities to find fulfillment when I can work towards something more meaningful and
yeah.
fulfillment there, right?
And
And
at the same time, too, like with the people who are like working in the 9 to 5s who are in the position of like, oh, I don't like this no more. Bro, like I want to spread this message so clear. You don't have to be a fucking millionaire. You don't have to be a guru. You don't have to start your own business. Bro, just go on a career path that feels fulfilling. And that's it, bro. Like you don't have to do all this crazy shit you see everybody else doing because not everybody's built for that shit. Not everybody's built to go start up 5 businesses and go, fuck off and do all this shit. Some people want a simple life, bro, and that's cool. But you have to have a balance between, bro, like controlling your emotions is so important. It is, bro. It is such a crucial skill that's been lost in the art of time because everybody's just so fucked. But yeah, I just wanted to say that, like, bro, like if you're not feeling emotional stability and you know the cause is like your career or your job, bro, it's an easy fix. It's a simple fix, but it's not easy. It takes work, it takes time, but you got to be willing to do that.
yeah, I know, I completely agree. And in your experience, like, how would you say that having a sense of purpose will allow you to overcome that emotional uh, instability?
It kind of forces you to work on it along the journey. I mean, you can't be all fucked up in the head and pursue something that's greater than your own existence. That isn't really the science, the math doesn't work out on that one. Um, it's just important, like emotional control and emotional stability is super important. I feel as though a lot of men nowadays they don't fucking take care of their emotional stability. They just like, I gotta work, I gotta work, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And then with them doing that, it kind of like it's like a bottle, a plastic bottle, and like air is being filled from the inside. The top of the cap's gonna eventually burst. And then when it comes to that, I'm like, this could have been avoided. And I've went through that. You probably went through that before where you're stuck holding your emotion and because you don't know, because quite frankly, you don't know how to deal with it in an effective manner. Because the way that I've been taught to deal with emotions, the way that we just deal with emotions ourselves, they're not really the best. They're not really good. And having a sense of purpose, bro, in order for you to be good at anything, you gotta be mindful. You gotta be doing all this right thing. So it kind of forces you to go and become emotionally stable to make those things happen.
Yeah, and speaking of that, like most people try to cope with emotional instability with uh dopamine,
Hmm.
dopamine pleasures. Like, for
Yeah.
example, like for me, it was like nicotine and weed.
Hmm.
Those were the two kind of substances that gave me temporary pleasure because I was just, like I said, I was trying to fill this like emotional void and gap. And for some people with alcohol, I mean, I know
Hmm.
alcohol is kind of socially accepted in the US
Yeah.
and in like
Yeah.
Western cultures. Um, and I feel like it's causing a lot of men to disregard their mental health because they're like, oh, let's just go out for a drink, right? A drink won't
Yeah.
hurt, right? And then
Yeah.
go out to drink, and usually when you drink, what happens is your rational thinking process decreases. So
Hmm.
do some stupid shit like getting behind the wheel, driving, you
Yeah.
DUI,
Fighting people and shit.
right?
Yeah.
And then after that, you're gonna get too drunk, you're gonna throw up, you're gonna destroy your liver, right? All these things, right?
Yeah.
It might seem like okay in the short term, it might seem like acceptable in the short term, but alcohol has a lot of long term,
Yeah.
effects, and
Yeah.
engaging in drinking on a daily basis is very harmful.
It's like also like knowing your purpose too. It forces you to think long term and not short term. When you don't, I think lack of purpose is the ultimate form of human destruction. Because if you have no, because a purpose in reality, it's hard to find what your purpose is. You have to do a lot of things, but a purpose is basically like an end life vision where you want to go. And having that vision allows you to think for the long term. And if you don't have it, then bro, if you don't have it, then you're automatically going to think about now. And it's like it's just a detriment to you. It just doesn't really add nothing to your life. It kind of fucks it up. You got to learn to. Well, I think everybody should have a fucking purpose. Everybody has a purpose. Men, women, every fucking cats, dogs, they all have fucking purposes. You just gotta find that shit. And
And
yeah,
this is where, like, if you're spiritual, like if you're a spiritual person, then that is really going to help you, is because spirituality is all about finding your purpose and living for what you were basically made for on this earth, right? If you don't believe
yeah,
in God, then think of it as like you're here for a certain amount of time and you need to make the most of your life, right? You're here for a purpose. You're not just here,
yeah,
you know, drinking away with friends and
yeah,
going back, right? You're here for a purpose, and you're destined to do something. What that is your job to find out. And
yeah,
experiences will lead you eventually to what you have to do or what you are destined to do. If you're spiritual, it'll be what you're destined to do. If you're not spiritual, the
yeah,
experiences will lead you to eventually find that out, right? So
yeah.
this brings me to my next discussion is, for people going through like emotional, instability, what are some techniques you recommend for um, getting over or um, holding yourself accountable for that emotional instability?
I would do self-reflection for the first thing. Just like you got to understand your mind, and the only way for you to understand your mind is look from it from a third person perspective. It's the easiest way to do that is journaling. Just write down what you're like, write down how you're feeling, no matter how dark it is or how crazy it is. And then as well as your journaling, if anybody's listening to this and they want to do like an exercise, I want you to write down how your way of acting is affecting others. Because if it is affecting others, that's a problem. That's where it becomes a problem, right? Um, that's like the lowest barrier of entry. It's just writing down your emotions, like writing down how you're feeling. Write down everything, bro. Every day, I think everybody should write down like what the fuck's going on in their life and what they're thinking and what their next move is. It's just like, bro, just have some clarity. Like it's just clarity at the end of the day, and you to get there. That's the first step to get there. After that, because it's like when your car is fucked up and you take it to a mechanic, right? Your car is fucked up. You're like, they gotta do a diagnosis, and by you writing, you're able to diagnose your mind. Like, oh, okay, I know why I'm acting upset now. It's because like at work, I don't really like what's going on here, there, or I don't like the management, or I don't like where I live, or I don't like anything. And then when you diagnose those problems, the cool thing about problems is problems are purpose and solution success. So when you diagnose your problem, your purpose in life is to fix those. Your solution is your success to your problem. So just go out there, write down what's going on, fucking isolate it, go fix it. Bro, tough times create strong men, and that's just how it is, bro. And strong people, bro. It's just like you can if you're facing diversity right now, or you're facing like problems, you're good. You should be thankful for your problems. And when I say this, a lot of people like look at me fucking weird. They're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Bro, it's character development, and you want as much character development as you can have because it it's character development. It's like it's literally you becoming more wise and you becoming more focused and you becoming more mentally clear. Because imagine if we stripped away all the trauma from me and your lives, it would not be the same. it would be it would be like generic. I don't know if that makes sense, but like everybody else, bro. And that's just bad times are they create virtue. I think that's the right word. Virtue. It's just like you need those bad times, but it's also how you deal with them too, because bad times can really expose how strong you are. They can really sit there and they can really be like, oh, well, I'm not as strong as I thought I was, or oh, I'm actually way stronger than I thought I was. Like you see a lot of people who you thought are weak and they go through hard times and they life punches them in the fucking face and they fall 6 times and get upset. And there's other people where something happens, they say fuck it and they just give up.
Exactly. And I think ever since I changed my mindset about failure, and my life has been so much better. Like every
Yeah,
time you fail, it's a stepping stone to success. Like think about
yeah,
it. Like for your example, okay, like you're playing in the playground as a kid, you fall down,
yeah,
right? Of course, we were not as mature back then as now, but
yeah,
if you think about it now, okay, so I fell down. So now I have two options. Now I either start crying, right? Or
yeah,
I decide to say, okay, this may be a stepping stone for me to keep getting better at the sport that I'm
yeah,
playing. Or when I'm playing with my friends, just, it's a part of the game, right? So understanding that failure is a part of it, right?
yeah,
And not getting emotionally unstable over it. Like, for example, if you get a
yeah,
bad grade, right? It's a natural reaction to get mad, right? But
yeah,
if you think about it, you were the problem. Like you messed up, right? So you acknowledge that, you take self accountability. As a man, you have to always take self accountability.
yeah,
That's the biggest, number one trait of masculinity is self accountability, right?
yeah,
With self accountability comes emotional regulations because if you're accountable for those things and you understand that you made the mistake and you can correct it, then emotionally you'll be more controlled as a man. You'll be more stoic as a man, right?
yeah. And it's also important to realize, there's a little story when I was in ninth grade or like 10th grade. I think it was ninth grade. I used to code using HTML. So I used to like sit and code on the computer and shit. And I used to get frustrated because it's like literally learning another language, like an actual human language, but on the computer. And I used to fuck it up. Like I had menus not working and shit. And I used to get so frustrated, bro. Just like I used to like pick up my computer and throw that shit in school. I used to get so frustrated. But then I realized, bro, if you're ever getting frustrated, the beauty of life is that there's systems in place. So, for example, if I'm fucking up in HTML, bro, there is certain ways to do shit in HTML. So all I gotta do is just chill out, go Google this shit, reread it, relearn, educate myself, and implement it. And that's the thing for anything in life, bro. Like if you become a chef, when you try to cook for the first time, bro, that food's gonna taste like ass. I'm just gonna keep it real. Unless you got some gift. But instead of you being like, oh, I fucked up, I'm never cooking again, or I'm not cooking this way, bro, you gotta look at the people who came before you. How did they become the chef? Well, they sat there and they studied and they used recipes that are already there and they built onto them. So like even if you're fucking up in life and failure, if you're in emotions, the best way to overcome emotions is learn from other people who fucked up. That's the best way to learn. If you're scared to embrace failure, review someone else's failure. Embrace theirs so you don't have to pursue yours. That's another option. I wouldn't recommend it because I still believe that the harsh way is the best way most of the time. But if you're ultimately scared of failure or you're scared of going down a certain path, then bro, just acknowledge someone else's and get over it.
Exactly, right. And like especially this applies to like if you're doing something hard and there's many emotions that come with doing hard things, right? Think of
Yeah,
it as this is what hard feels like. I think Chris Williamson said it. This is what hard feels like. So take peace in the fact that this is what hard feels like. Whatever you're working on, it's hard, and it's going to be hard. Like it's not going to be easy. Like
yeah,
you have days where you don't want to wake up. You're gonna have days where you're just like groggy, grumpy, like you don't even want to wake up in the morning. You don't want to do this, right? And this is
yeah,
where like your sense of purpose comes in because once your sense of purpose comes in, your emotions automatically align to it. Like let's say in the morning you wake up and you have to like do this assignment because this class will help you achieve your whatever your purpose, right?
mhm,
For example, if it's if you want to become a doctor, then you have a biology class, right? You have to do good on the test or you have to get a good grade in order for you to become a doctor, right? So wake up in the morning,
Yeah.
I want to be the best goddamn doctor there
Yeah.
is, right? And I'm gonna wake up every single morning and work my ass off till
Yeah.
to that point, right? And
Yeah.
that's the reason to wake up in the morning and you feel happy, you feel motivated, you're not emotionally unstable, you're emotionally
Yeah.
right, and that's what is really important in life.
Yeah. Because I also feel as though like people who are in those positions of like they're working towards something greater, it's like how you view it. Like hard work can be fun if you view it that way. But on the other hand, you can view it as like I'm getting fucked. Or you can be like you can view it as I'm getting fucked or I'm gonna wake up and destroy. Like I'm this like bro, it's either is. Like either like bro, I think like if you don't have I think a lot of it comes down to having a level of confidence as well. And the best way to form confidence is when you don't have it is to fake it. Okay, I'm not confident. Well, you know what? Bro, be fucking delusional. If you're watching this, be so delusional that you second guess yourself. But like, bro, when I was in sales and I was asked when I first started, bro, I used to wake up and say, I'm gonna make $1 million today. Fuck no, I'm not making $1 million today. But that mindset allowed me to go and bro, become 1% better every day, bro. Become 1% better. Come 10% better. Rest that mindset. Have that mindset of I'm gonna go dominate today. I'm gonna go make something happen. If you wake up and you're like, oh no, you're being a bitch, bro. You're sitting there and you're being submissive to the things that are going on. You gotta be the opposite of way. You gotta be the opposite. You gotta take control of situations instead of letting situations take control of you, and then you'll go fucking kill life. You'll dominate.
Right? There's also another quote from the way the superior man is like a superior man doesn't suppress his emotions, he's in touch with his emotions, right?
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
have to direct your mind on where to go. So, for example, let's say you're having a heated argument with someone, right? Your natural response will be to get mad. Like you
yeah,
will get mad at that person because they're disagreeing with you, right? But
yeah,
what a masculine man does is he's like, okay, so I'm getting mad right now. I acknowledge that I'm mad, but I'm going to remain stoic, right? I'm not
yeah,
gonna let my mind, I'm not going to let my emotions control me. I am going to control my emotions by remaining stoic. I understand that I'm mad, but
yeah,
I'm gonna keep myself in check by not reacting, right? Because that's what they want
yeah.
to do, right? When you're in an argument, the only reason they're arguing with you is to get a reaction out of you.
Reaction, yes,
The moment
sir.
the moment you react, you
You
literally
lost. Yeah,
trophy, like you literally made them win
yeah,
because of
yeah.
that.
And it's also important to like acknowledge like I I I developed this skill over a long time. Um, but like when you have an emotion and you acknowledge it, you also got to ask yourself, does it serve me in this situation? And if it doesn't, then you just got to push because sometimes because the thing is about emotion is that it's a really tricky subject because we're hardwired to rely on emotion more than logic. But at the same time, in certain situations, a logic defeats emotion, and then emotion defeats logic. So like for me, I know like in situations because I tend not to care as much. I don't care a lot of things. I just don't. I care about making videos, making my shorts, hopping on the phone when I need to and all that shit. But sometimes you gotta configure your emotions to the person that you're dealing with as well. Because some people are more emotional, some people are more logic based. You gotta like morph yourself in the correct situation to appeal to all those different people. You gotta learn how to form and mask yourself.
You have to be able to know how to harness that energy, right? Like
Yeah,
you have to be able to it's kind of like surfing in a sense. Like you have to
yeah,
skillfully surf your emotion. Like for example,
yeah,
like the person that you're talking to is really emotional. Like
yeah,
handle them in a different way than a guy who
yeah,
like is not as emotional, but then you can
yeah,
be like joking with them, right? For example, like you have two friend groups, right? Like one friend group is like the friend group where like they're emotional guys, so
yeah,
you tend to be like a little bit more empathetic with them, right? And then you have
yeah,
another friend group where you kind of there's a mutual understanding that like you can cross some lines, but they understand that you're just
yeah,
friendly drama back and forth, but then we're all boys at the end of the day, right? So
yeah.
it depends on the person. Like you said, you have to configure your emotions based on the person.
Yeah. And that's something to always to keep in the back of your head. It's like I said, it's like I said this in the last episode, the ultimate form of mental health is mental awareness. And you gotta be so aware to the point where you're even talking to somebody, you get to like shift your tone. And that's I think that also makes you a better person, a more likable person because not everybody's the same and you gotta learn how to configure yourself and it just makes you a better human. And I think one skill that a lot of young men lack is communication. They don't know how to talk to people, they don't know how to articulate themselves, they don't know how to adapt to the current situation. And that's a skill that I think everybody should learn is just communication, learn how to speak and learn how to be effective with your words. And it's a skill that everybody has to learn.
Exactly. And communication, what I found is I've struggled with communication like back in my high school days and in the beginning of
Yeah,
college was um the, as I said in the last episode, like I was raised in like a very secluded, like closed environment. So I wasn't really able to go out and socialize like that, right? So my communication skills were naturally like really low. So
yeah,
in order to expand your communication skills, literally just go and talk to as many people as possible. I mean,
yeah,
that's literally what I did. I mean, this might sound
yeah,
degenerate, but when I was like when I was partying, I just used to go and I used to cold approach random people, just make
yeah,
friends.
yeah,
And that's kind of improved my communication skills. And in turn, I was able to make more friends and become more confident and
yeah,
just be able to go on more adventures and
yeah.
stuff like that.
And for those people who don't know how to go up and talk to somebody, bro, just fucking find something that they're wearing. Like, yo, bro, them shits are fire. Just point to his shoes. And just like, bro, just talk. Like, I think it's the inner bitch talking to them. Like, oh, this person ain't gonna like me. I'm like, bro, they don't like you. Fuck them, bro. Just there's I have this saying that's kind of fucked up. It's like there's there's always another hoe. And what that means is essentially there's always other options everywhere. So like I think it's also important for young men to go out there and socialize and have a community and just make it work, bro. Like, go talk to people. And bro, if you can't talk to people, go talk to old people, bro. Them are like the easiest motherfuckers to talk to. They will sit in there talk to you for 45 hours straight. Like, build your way up, bro. Build your communication skills. It's not that hard. All you need is go up there and be like, hey, yo, I liked your jacket. Where'd you get that from? Boom. Now you enter your way into a conversation. Take it however you want to take it from there.
Like old people, they have so much wisdom. Imagine the
Yeah.
amount of wisdom they have. If you want to, this is the fastest way to speed your self improvement journey. If you're on self improvement right now, and you need to have wisdom, right? Like most
Yeah.
self improvement gain wisdom over time. If you talk to old people, they already have the wisdom that made them successful, right? So if you talk to old people and engage in conversations, you can speed track your self improvement, you have way more wisdom. Like the less
Yeah.
you learn at 50 years old, you talk to this old person, he's gonna tell you when you're like 18 or 19, and then you can use it to your advantage like when you encounter that
Yeah.
situation, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of your second point, you going and just talking to random people, you can even point to his shoes. Imagine what that will
Yeah.
do to your emotions. Imagine if you go up to one person and be like, yo, I really like your shoes. We should hang out sometime, right?
Yeah.
Just go and cold approach random people. That is so good for your emotions
Yeah.
and just complimenting people too. Sometimes what I used to do is just go compliment people.
Yeah.
Compliment people on how they look, compliment people on what they're wearing, right? It is really good for your emotional health because you did something good, you did something positive, right? So those types of actions will help you with your emotional regulation a lot too.
Yeah. It's also just important to like spread kindness, bro. Like I think that's another form of masculinity that not a lot of people talk about, is just spreading kindness, bro. Like it's so bro, it's free. It's like the that's one of the best ROIs in existence. You see, like I think the best thing to do is like if you see someone in public and you tell that they're a little bit of a nerd or some shit, like I'm not trying to be no fucked up bull, but go talk to them, be like, yo, bro, that's cool as shit. That's fire. Like keep on doing that shit, bro. Because I feel like those people deserve kindness. Everybody deserves kindness. You gotta spread. There's too much hate in the world, bro. People are like professional haters, bro. It's because of this right here. But bro, let's go spread some kindness. If you don't want to make friends and you're like, I don't even want if you're on your fucking villain Andrew Tate arc and you just want to lift weights all day, bro, go spread some kindness at least, bro. Go talk to people.
Just remember that every person is a ticking time bomb. So you don't want to mess with their You don't know what they're exactly going through at that specific moment.
Yeah.
You always have to be positive because you never know who's going to need it at a certain point. Like you might see
Yeah.
a happy person, but inside they're probably fighting demons. I guarantee.
Yeah.
There's been so
Yeah.
many times where I approached people, right, and they were smiling and really happy. But then once I got into a deep conversation with them, I realized that they don't necessarily have a good life.
Yeah.
They have so many problems, but then they just smile outside and they hide that
They
pain,
mask it. Yeah.
mask the emotion, right? So that imagine going up to her and saying, "Oh, hi, you look pretty. I like your dress," right? Something like
Hmm.
that. Some compliment will just make her day. Like if she's going through a bad day at work or something, it will make her day. And
Yeah.
acts of kindness will drastically improve your emotional regulation, your
It
EQ.
improves your life, it improves their life, bro. It's like the ultimate form of win-win. And like everybody should spread kindness more than hate, bro. Because I feel like the people who spread hate just hate themselves the most. That's just all it comes down to, bro. It's corny, bro. Don't do that. It's just really corny. That's all it is, bro. It's just fucking lame. Like you ever see people who be like successful, like in a certain industry or a certain field, when someone younger comes to them, or like someone getting into the field, they don't hate on them, they elevate them. They're like, hey, bro, that's awesome what you're doing. I'm gonna show you how to do it this way too. I'm gonna show you all the in and outs, and that's what you gotta do, everybody, bro. Because bro, life's too short to be a fucking hater, bro. Life's too short to be a hater. It's just leave a good mark on the world. Like, who the fuck do you want to be known as? Someone who bitches all the time, someone who screams all the time, someone who screams all the time, fucking menace to society, or do you want to be known as like that guy? That guy really tried to make a change, and he helped a lot of people doing it. So your choice in the end. If you don't know the purpose of life, there it is. The purpose of life is what you leave behind. So what do you want to leave behind?
100%, bro. And like, you know, relating to you, like remember last podcast you were telling me your sense of like purpose and your
Yeah.
sense of journey. So where are you at right now in terms of like, you know, how you handle bad times? Like how do you go about handling bad times? And since you have built up the wisdom on your self-improvement
Hmm.
journey, how do you kind of handle, for anyone who's going through a tough time, how do you handle uh trials and tribulations, to for discovering your purpose, or
Yeah.
people who have already found their purpose working towards their purpose.
I just look at it for what it is. And what if you really break it down and you strip all the emotion? Because I like using logic. Like logic's my best friend. So Um, I just look at it what it is. I'm like, okay, here's the problem. Can I fix this? Yes, no. If I can't, fuck. How do I improvise? How do I adapt? And how do I overcome? If I can't fix it. If I can't fix it, oh, I'm trying to record a video and my camera breaks oh, what's wrong? Oh, my computer's fucking up. Is it the software or the hardware? Okay, it's the software. All right, how do I fix it? Fix it. Like that's just really what it is, bro. Like it's so simplistic, and I don't allow myself to overthink. That's like a rule of my life. I don't allow myself to overthink. Everything in my life has to be simplistic because simplicity is the key to success. It's just how it is. So like if I'm running a problem, I view it for what it is. If I can fix it, okay, I can fix it. But if I can't, do I let that stop me? Fuck no, I work around it. It is what it is. Like if you're driving on the street and if you're driving and the car is slow as fuck, and you have two lanes, you can either follow his ass or you can fucking go in the other lane and go around it. That's what problems are, So I just view it for what it is. I don't stress out. I just take care of it. That's it.
Yeah, and speaking of that, like most situations, right? There are some exceptions, but for most situations, it really helps you just turn your brain off. Like
Yeah.
you have to turn at least 40 to 50% of your brain off. Like for example, you're talking with your friends and then you see a girl that you want to approach.
Hmm.
Just start walking towards her. Like, don't even
Yeah.
think about like, oh, what am I gonna say? No, no, just walk towards her and just talk. And eventually, you start getting the confidence and the things that
It's
come.
just action.
It's
It's
just
just
action.
action.
Action precedes clarity,
Yeah.
100% every single
Yeah.
time. Right? I have a couple of other friends that they wanted to start this business, they wanted to do this. They were telling me all these plans, but they were not really executing them. Right? So
Yeah.
until you execute, no one's gonna really take you seriously
Yeah.
because it's all about execution. right? Like, let's say
Yeah.
you feel bad about it, try it.
Yeah.
Try it and you don't see results and you truly feel that it's something that you don't want to do, then don't do it. But then if you
Yeah.
haven't even tried it and then you're telling me these plans, then it's like, what's the point, right? It's kind of like you're just
Yeah.
publicizing it but not doing the
Yeah.
action.
It's like just shut the fuck up and go do it, bro. Like that's what I told like my friends like when we were younger we had that trait of like really, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. But now that we're older, I'll be chilling. I got text message of this fucking goon just send me a photo of him running 25 miles. What the fuck are you doing? Bro, it's just action, bro.
Clearly. And I find that, like, for people who are really emotional and for people who are struggling with, just emotional regulation in general, having a masculine brotherhood, it's one of the best things you can do. Like, if you find guys that are like have the same values as you and the same
Hmm.
sense of purpose, room with them. Like,
Surround yourself with
surround yourself,
greatness.
surround yourself with them. And let's say you have
Yeah,
a friend that has his own business and he's earning good money, and he has a sense of purpose, he's waking up every day, he's doing it. Surround yourself more with those types of people. You're the average
yeah,
white people you're around, and you guys must have heard that, right? But
yeah,
it's actually really true. Like, the moment I disconnected from my Jeffrey friends
yeah,
back in college, and I moved back home and I started surrounding myself with high quality people, it just completely changed my mindset. It literally speed tracked my self improvement journey so much. And I started to pick up on all these wisdom. I started to read books. I started to implement good habits in my life. And it's such a big effect.
yeah. It's just if I don't know if you suppose like a paintbrush, bro. It sounds weird, but if you like hang around the color green so much, you're gonna turn fucking green. But if you're a paintbrush, you want to hang around red. If you get rid of the green and go to the red, then your paintbrush is gonna be red, bro. It's like you're a sponge. So whatever liquid sounds weird as shit. Whatever liquid you want to be, bro, you gotta become. You gotta go near it. Like if you want to become, if you want to get into sales, and you don't know how to get into sales, or like you want to do anything, you hang around the people who are doing it. Even if you don't know shit, just go fake that confidence for them, bro. Just go and do that shit.
Exactly. And I think we'll end it off there.
Yeah.
And
Before this ends, make sure to fucking follow the Discord group down in the description. That shit working. We'll get some stuff in there.
and we
But
got
yeah,
some stuff coming as well. So please make sure to join the Discord server, and we'll see
no,
y'all.
please go fucking do it right now.
We'll see y'all
But
next.
yeah.